Hey guys, this is Brad from Blue Nile Farm. You know, the last 48 hours we've had a hell of a snowstorm, and about 2 foot of snow has fallen, and it did pure devastation for me on my indoor arena slash hay barn that's right behind me. Now this barn's 62 by 140 foot long. It was a cover-all structure. It had 10-foot high walls with their tongue and groove, and basically it fell in, almost like taking your finger and pushing down in the middle, and the whole thing collapsed. Inside this barn is hay, round bales, hay wagons, disc mowers, tractors, skid steers, backhoe, lots of different equipment, and it's all kind of right now at the mercy of trying to get it out without it collapsing more. A couple other pieces of equipment, a backhoe and a tractor are damaged, and some of the other ones are just barely sitting in there because the weight of the snow is compressing on this building, and it's pretty hazardous to get in there. And I'm waiting for the insurance adjuster to give me a call because I really want to try to get stuff out of here, but I don't know if I can do it because it's going to be, we can't even see. I mean, I have snow on everything, and it's just pure havoc. Now on top of that, when the snow was coming down, it was pressing on top of the frame of the coverall. It's kind of like putting your finger on top of a dome, and it just right in the center just all collapsed in, and all the frame broke. So it's basically just being held by the ground or by hay, and depending on the framing. So let's go in the barn. I'll kind of show you all the damage that's been done, and we'll take an assessment. Now the problem here in the front is the whole face of the building, because there was a wall, and there was door, 16-foot wide door, 16 by 16, and fabric on part of the top. The whole thing fell forward. It broke like matchsticks. And on the other side of the building, everything pushed on the outside. So I have a lot of debris in the front of this building that I want to kind of pull away, and hopefully I can kind of get to the equipment. So I'm going to walk you through the building and point out all the damage that's done and how we're going to try to get stuff out of here. And I don't know if I can do it, because like they're saying right now that we can get another 1 to 2 feet in the next 48 hours or sooner. And that's going to just basically flatten this barn. And I don't know what else to do here. And I'm waiting, like I say, for an adjuster to give me a buzz. So with that said, let's go for the tour. So as you can see, along this whole side, the whole sidewall is buckled in, and bent and broken posts are sitting here. And this year we spent $6,000 on siding just to side this whole building. We just finished it a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of sad because it's all down and done. Right here, basically you can see the wall kind of fell outward inside. And see a tractor that's inside, and it's just basically covered. Here's the top of the frame of part of the building that's kind of bent. And you can see all the debris all the way forward. And there's over 2 foot of snow. And that whole sidewall actually collapsed and fell outward. So the whole wall is down on that whole side. And I can't even get through the snow to really do an assessment there because it's so deep. And here is where the door used to be, right here. And you can see the frame, and it fell out. So it kind of split in the middle through the weight, and it kind of came through as it fell. So let's walk in and take a quick look. So if you look at these walls, you look at the brackets are supposed to be upright, and they're just basically barely held by bolts right now. Here's a tractor just barely making it, and the frame actually crashed right down into the ground where the lights are, and we have a heavy snow load on top. So my rebaling unit's in here, my LS tractor's in here. There's a John Deere 338 baler that's connected to the rebaler. If you watch some of my videos, you guys kind of know how everything's laid out, because we did discuss all this stuff. One of the hay wagons, 2 hay wagons that are here, loaded with hay. And unfortunately, this is the only out I have right now. It's going out that doorway. So we're going to have to peel stuff out and hopefully get things out of here The problem is that Hustler rebaling unit, it has to almost be dragged out of here because it's on a caster wheels, and there's no way to pick it up because you have to pick it up from this side here with forks. And other than that, it's almost impossible to get out. So if you look down here, you can see the broken frame. It's actually hitting the ground along the way here. And on top here is nothing but heavy snow that's holding with the tarp. Here's the light, came down. There's a bale spear underneath there. So here's the other piece of equipment. So you can see that the frame actually is down into the round bales, and this is a whole wall of round bales right now. And that's pretty much the center of my barn is where it broke, it looks like. And skid steers in here, Ford 7710s in here, the Kubota 7060s in here. My the site soil screener sitting in here. My brush mower for my skid steers in here. My Kubota disc mower. Also is my Dan User Intimidator. My zero-turn mower, dump trailer. Oliver 1855. That has damage because it's getting smashed up. Right now, the frame landed on top of the hood, and it's putting some undue pressure on the tractor itself. And basically, the two stacks basically went right through the tarp, and you can see that's where they're at right now. So I don't know what kind of engine damage is going to be done with snow jammed up in there. And there's a lot of pressure on the front wheels right now because it's supporting this frame, which is very heavy with snow. And you can see how it's damaged on top, and it's just resting on the frame. And then right here, it's all collapsed going forward. There's a Ford 800 sitting in here as well. And bale wrapper, bale grabber. So, and a bunch of skids full of horse bedding down on the other end. And this barn's attached to a walkway that goes into my horse barn itself. So I'm going to take this off the tripod here real quick, and let's go up under here. So crawling through here, you can see how the front, that was the top vent of the barn, is actually collapsed, and the whole set of doors that you see here got blown out the back end of this barn. And this is all just damage of the whole back end just got blown out. And the frame is completely off. And this section of the barn is pretty much just being held by the hay. And like I say, I'm worried about this frame because it just keeps bending, and I don't know how much extra weight and pressure is going to be coming down on this barn. And you can see the frame rolls all the way down. It's probably 80 to 100 feet all the way down that other end where you can see it falling in. So right now, even just to get equipment out, and here it is on the Oliver, landed right on top. And basically the hay bales right now are saving it, but there's a huge amount of snow that's piled up here above, and it's just landing here. And I'm afraid it's going to keep falling down and crushing equipment. I'd like to get my skid steer and some of this other equipment out of here somehow before that happens. So getting out of the barn, you can see all this actually landed on top of the fence, destroyed the fence, and it's just leaning up against the fence. And this is all snow load right there. Tarp got blown out, and the whole wall's gone. It's kind of hard to see where you're walking because you don't know what damage has been done. So I'm kind of walking on the barn itself, and you can see all that snow that's just sitting on top of this tarp, and it's just putting an immense amount of pressure right now, and there's nowhere to go. It's just sitting there. And I'm really so afraid of more snow coming down. There's no salvaging of this building. Here's the side. This side doesn't look too bad. It's buckled out a little bit, but nothing like the other one. And I'm really not going to walk into all the snow. But you can see how much is in there in the drift. It's probably 5 foot. So looking at the west side of the building that collapsed, you can see finally how it went down. And the whole wall just completely went and fell toward the west. And the cover, the big mound you see there, besides some snow, is all hay, and that's what's holding that everything up on that end. So the cover basically is draping everything. And that's a 140 foot long building is what that is. And it gives you a big idea of kind of how it all fell. And we're going to kind of pull it out from the front, work our way backward. But I'm going to go pretty slow when it comes down to getting to that hay. We'll kind of nip it as we go. But that's pretty much it. So looking at the frame, the metal frame, there's only bolts holding this up on the wall, and that's the only thing that's keeping this whole thing from collapsing. And it's all the same all the way down the row. And that's the only thing that's my saving grace right now as far as this side of the barn. It's keeping that equipment from getting crushed. But like I say, I'm afraid if we get more snow, it might just give way and come down further, and then it's going to damage the other equipment. Just looking at this wall that comes out from the entrance into the arena, you can see how the nails are just pulling out of the sidewalls. That whole wall load is just getting pushed out, and it's ready to fall. And like I say, I'm really kind of concerned about getting this equipment out of here the best I can. I think that might be my best bet. I just don't want it to make anything worse than it actually is, because it's almost like we have to precisionally take this apart piece by piece, the only way to get to everything without a major problem. Part of the door came down and hit the horse trailer, stock trailer. Kind of put a little mark on the front piece, but the door is actually right here on top of the hedge. And I don't know if there's any other damage on this side to see it. I'm walking actually on the door. You can see the wall and the outside wall actually kicked completely off to the side. And the whole frame kind of went out of the building. Here's a lot of debris atop the trailer. And like I say, I don't know if anything got hit because of the snow load. Here's part of the debris here. And without going all the way down the line, I'm sure the whole wall all the way down the side has collapsed and went and broke off at the posts. And there's a lot of snow, and you can see the backhoe kind of sitting up there in the middle. So everything's pretty much trashed completely. And when you creep over to the side, here's the backhoe getting jammed in by stuff. There's hay. It's all encased underneath. Some of it's exposed. And again, frames landed on the backhoe. Whole wall's pushed out. There's some screens for the screener that are still underneath. Frame landed directly on top of the backhoe bucket. It actually got wrapped around the backhoe, so that won't be moving anytime soon. It's right around one of the lines, and it's pretty well damaged, and the exhaust went right through the tarp, so that's damaged as well. So just to put a timeline to this, this is November 30th, 2024. And, you know, this is when this building went down. And that's one of my biggest issues right now is that, you know, getting this equipment out is probably the key thing, because the amount of weight that's coming down on this building is tremendous, and the beams are what broke, not the cloth. Secondly, I was lucky. I kept this excavator out of the building, because normally I put it in the barn. And we're going to use this to kind of clear a path and be able to get in here, start pulling some equipment down. Today we're going to get as much as we can out. And, you know, I'm thinking I can get my bale roller, my square baler, and basically the, hopefully the skid steer out, and my LS tractor. And those are probably the only things that are going to be accessible today. So we're going to try to get that out, maybe some of the bedding, just to get it out of the way so we have more access inside that building. So we're going to do what we can, and hopefully I'll kind of show you what it looks like once that's cleared out, and then we'll get into what we can do the next day. But we're going to bust our butts trying to get as much out as possible, because this building is collapsing. And like I said, it's not the cloth that ripped, it's the structure itself. The actual frame of this building collapsed and broke. So we're going to get that done. So we had about 50 inches of snow, and we spent the whole day pretty much trying to plow the driveway and clear areas, because there's no areas to be cleared. So, you know, the more of an area we can get in here, the better off it is. And it's mind-boggling. I've never seen this much snow that we've ever had since I've lived here. And it came down so fast and so brutal. You know, our horses haven't been outside. They're locked in their stalls, and luckily I had some square bales made so we can get by right now. But you know, I have no access to any hay to feed, and we just got to definitely get in here and save as much as we can. So, but again, it's cold. It's probably like 30 degrees, down to 28 degrees, and 50 inches of snow, and we're looking at getting another potential foot tomorrow, and that bothers me. So, and that's going to put more weight down on this. And then for the next several days, we're getting more snow. So getting as much equipment out of this building and to protect what I have is the nature of the beast. And that's what we're going to do. So that's kind of what I want to document on this video, is some of the stats here of things that affected us in this operation. And we're just going to get through it the best we can. So amazingly, I'm holding up pretty well. I'm not totally stressed out. I'm just dealing with it and moving forward. And that's all you can do, is not worry about it, just get it done. So, you know, we're trying to clear areas here because I have so much snow. I don't even know where to put any of this equipment, and there's a lot of equipment in this building. So, you know, worst case scenario, I'll get an area cleared out of here, and then I'll try to put some stuff back if I can, just to park it. But right now, my whole driveway is loaded with equipment. Snow's coming down. You know, if we get that another foot, I mean, I'm just going to be stuck. And we're just going to have to keep cleaning off equipment and do the best we can. So that's where we're at. All right, day 2, snow's coming down. We got another foot on the ground. And last night, this is just getting worse. It's not getting any better. So let's go in the barn and I'll show you what's happening. We're gonna keep trying to get equipment out. We did a little bit last night, but I'm still struggling. And this barn is collapsing more and more as time goes on. The snow load is just getting heavier and heavier. You see in my county, I got about 40 inches of snow. So you can see we pulled out the tractor, the baler, the unroller. A couple items are out of here, but there's a couple more still in here. Got the 2 hay wagons out. The problem is the building's collapsing as it's coming down slower and slower, and we're having nothing but trouble. I'm going to try to get some more out of here real quick this morning, and then we're going to be stuck with bigger items. I'm going to try to put this Kubota, it's in here right now, it's close to the wall, and I got to get that out. The fort's pretty much locked in, but the problem I'm having as we go back in here at the back end of this barn is the frame is coming down. And you can see it's now cracked and falling on top of the Oliver even more. And that Oliver's pretty much going to get crushed. My bale wrapper is going to get crushed. And if it goes and gets crushed, then all these other items can get crushed. So I got the 4800 still in the back. My disc mower potentially can go down. And I'm going to try to get some of the small items out of here if I can before this thing comes down. And my dump trailer potentially is stuck in here because the frame fell even farther and it's on top of the dump trailer. So right now I have a big problem, and I think that these 2 items are stuck. I can't remove them or get them out of here. And the hay is the only thing that's supporting us right now with the tarp back in here. So, and there's, you know, hundreds of round bales in here. This is not just a few. There are hundreds of round bales that are still inside this barn, but the best part is at least the cover is on top of them. They're not fully exposed. And so this is the status we're at right now. And I'm really concerned about this area right here, because it's just a matter of a question of when. And we're just getting pounded with snow. And we probably get another foot to even 2 feet. It's just crazy. And, you know, 30 miles away from me, they have no snow. So this is terrible. Now I know what people feel like when they go through a natural disaster, and I don't even know what to say. It's just, you're almost helpless to what's happening. You can't really change it. You're kind of stuck with it. If you look out the path here, you can still see that snow's just coming through the building, and it's just all over. And I think the walls are actually starting to creep in here. So if we're hoping that it stops so we can kind of start prying more of this away, but I don't know what else to do here, because it's going to take a lot of cutting of the steel and using the excavator. I did get the excavator running, so that's a good thing. That's warming up, and the skid steer is warming up. But even all the items that we took out here yesterday, I just backed up more snow. It's crazy. This is the worst I've ever seen it since I've lived here, and it's not getting any better. Well guys, it's 10:30 and it's on day 2. Looking inside here, let's take a quick walk without getting killed. This thing's falling, it's already dropping. All over here it's already went down a couple more feet, and I hear it crinking, and it's going to drop. This frame right here is going to come down. I don't know if this is going to hold this tractor. The wall's ready to collapse. I got everything I can out of here. You can see how that is bent. Everything we pushed up against yesterday must have dropped 2 feet, and I don't think this is going to last much longer. And every time I'm in here, I hear this thing creaking away. So I got the 2 tractors up against the wall the best I can. If the wall supports them, great, but that's the best I can do. You know, if you're looking, it's coming down. This bend here is going to just snap, and when this snaps, it's all coming. I pulled out some more equipment out of the small stuff. Basically, we're pretty much done here. And I don't know if I can save the dump trailer. I doubt it. The tractor looks like it's in bad shape. And when this comes down, it's going to come up against the disc mower. And that 4800 is pretty much cooked. So let's see what happens. I don't have much roof left, and we'll see what happens. Well, guys, the barn's falling down farther and farther. I took out everything I can take. This must have dropped another 2 foot along the sidewalls. I see this frame bending. It's ready to snap. I put the tractor as close as I can to the wall. I'm afraid though this wall here is going to buckle and it's all going to come down. It's buckled out more today than it was yesterday, and like I said, we got another foot of snow, so I don't think it's going to make it. And I was pretty scared on the skid steer running in here because I grabbed a bunch of other equipment and I cleared that out under here, but it's falling and I'm hearing it break every minute. So I'm done with the videos. I can't really do much more. I'm kind of afraid to get stuck under here, so I'm going to get out. guys, it's December 2nd, 2024, and here we sit. We wound up taking all this equipment out all the way down to the back. You can see that the tarp is down, the frame is down. My Oliver tractor is the only piece of equipment that's in here left is that Oliver tractor, and it's stuck. So we're going to try to get that out today. And the other piece of equipment is a backhoe that's sitting over here. Those are the only two pieces of equipment besides hundreds and hundreds of round bales that are sitting underneath that tarp, which is probably a good thing. So at least that's protected from what I see. But I haven't been around the other side to really see, you know, that issue as far as how much of it's covered and how much it's not. So today the priority is to get the backhoe out, get that Oliver out, try to get to access to hay because I have no access right now, and we have animals that need to be fed. So that's kind of where we're at, and we worked diligently last night to get this done. So I'm trying to keep my side door over here open, and I'll kind of take you through a tour now to show you, where everything's at on day 3, so you guys get a good idea of where we're at. But I think we've done great progress, and I'm glad I had that excavator, because without that I would have been massively screwed, and I saved hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment that really made me feel good. My Kubota 7060, basically the cab on the top got cracked because the beam was on top of it because the building kept falling, and that was damaged. My dump trailer got a little bit damaged, and of course these two pieces of equipment got damaged. That's it. I've pretty much saved everything, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. So and hopefully my bale wrapper is okay, because that had a beam on it too, but I think that it maintained its shape, so we're good with that. So with that said, I'm feeling good about at least getting the equipment done. I can't do nothing about the building, but I save my equipment, and that's probably the most important thing. The downfall is my driveway's a parking lot right now, and I'll kind of give you a tour of what that looks like. But as I go around with the video camera, I think you're going to be kind of amazed how much stuff I saved, because it really took us a lot of effort just to get stuff moved around. And I'm glad I saved my skid steer, because the skid steer was probably the most viable piece of equipment besides the excavator to get stuff done. So, and we had a lot of snow to plow, and it's been pretty frantic. So I wouldn't wish this on anybody. And I understand now when people have hurricanes and stuff, just the total sheer awe of destruction. Fortunately my house is good and it's warm, and horses are good in the building, but I can't imagine losing it all. It's just got to be devastating. So let me take you on the tour, and I'll show you what we got left. So as we're walking down here, we swatted a path, obviously down, and we're probably 80 foot cleared in this building. I went about 80 foot down. I got about 40 foot left. Oh, about 100 foot. So we got about 40 feet left of the building, and we cleared 100 foot of it. So that's really pretty good. And as you're looking here, this big mound over here is all round bales covered by the tarp, and the round bales go all the way pretty much to the end right here where the backhoe ends. I got a couple round bales sitting there, so hopefully I can get access. But we're going to try to get that backhoe out today if possible, and we're going to have to move all this debris, and that's going to take a little bit of planning. And one of the beams is right across the backhoe itself, and we're going to have to cut that out. So that's that issue. And let's take a walk down here, and I'll show you where we're at. It's a lot of debris in here, and we're going to clean it out. The walls themselves are torn up, steel sitting on the wall. And that was brand new steel that I put up around this whole building. It was $6,000 worth of steel that basically only lasted 2 weeks, and it's kind of sad. So you can see how much snow is actually up on top. That's several feet that's sitting on top of the roof right now. We've been trying to pull it down, trying to get down to the ground so we have some access. So this is my side door to my horse barn. The door does work, and I actually put my zero turn in here, and we put the square bales in, but I have that finished. And let's go in here and take a quick look at what's left. Now this wall that before wasn't bent down, but all that weight of snow has just pulled it downward, and it's going to go at some point. The back here has most of the snow load. You can see the frame crushing down to the ground. And that Oliver, thank God it's built a little more stout than some of the other pieces of equipment. But this is all snow on top, and this frame is pretty, I mean, I couldn't imagine the amount of weight that's under here. But you can look at my tractor, it's buried. And the hood's taking a bunch of the weight. And there's a beam going right across the back end. So we're kind of stuck with that. Look at the back tire, how squished that is. The amount of weight has got to be phenomenal. I mean, I've never seen so much weight on the back of this tractor. So it's got to be thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds just sitting on top of that. So if we go out to the back end here, I cleared everything out of here, like I said. Oh, this door is going to go. It's cracked. And this whole frame is going to fall over real quick. And of course, I have damage to my fence all the way up along this fence. It just took the fence right down. And the door and everything else is on this side. But this building is done. And there's no coming back. And right where it starts to go up, those are all round bales. Probably like six rows of round bales, at least, maybe 7 rows, going all the way back to the wall. So this is basically what we have left. My plan is we're probably going to have to take this wall down, and I have to save some bale wrap. Here, I'm going to pull that out. But that's basically the only things left, and some gates. But I got to keep this side door open because at least I can keep the weather out. And you know, the sad part is we're only December, and I got to go all the way till April before the weather actually potentially stops from snowing. So we got a long road to haul, and I'm really sad about that. There you can see some round bales sitting through this hole right there. So at least they're covered by the tarp. At least some protection is better than none. And that I don't mind. And I do feed a lot of round bales out, but the rebaling, I'm not going to be able to do any of that this year. It's pretty much done. So that's my update. And I don't know, it's crazy. You know, like I said, then let me give you a tour of the equipment that we saved. The last thing we pulled out was that dump trailer. And I'll give you a tour right now of the equipment. So this Provenance dump trailer is pretty well built. The biggest damage was the sideboard and where the beam landed on top of it. It was up against the hay bale and it has a little ding into it. But other than that, this thing should be fine. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. We had fencing that are laid down that were inside the barn. They're still there. Gates, they got smashed up. And there's still other things I have to pull out of there. Bale, horse bedding, that was, you know, that could sit outside. I'm not too worried about that, but that was inside the barn. My ag wrap / a farmland bale wrapper. It's really a farmland bale wrapper. That was saved. Had a beam on top of it, but I think it's holding its form. My Ford 800, the first tractor that I had that I started with this place, and basically needs a lot of TLC right now, but that poor tractor really made me build this place up, and I definitely had too small of a machine, but at least that survived. My Kubota 8032R that I've owned and is pretty new still, probably like 5 or 6 years old. That got saved and no damage to that, so I'm glad I got that out. So that made me feel good. Basically, my tiller got saved. My John Deere 338 baler, that was saved. And let's continue on. Here's some of the snow pile. I mean, that's well taller than me. Driveway, we had to swat it with the excavator because of the amount of snow that we had. And you can see, I mean, the mounds are everywhere. On the buildings, on the other barns. It's my Mack truck. The whole cab is loaded with snow. Normally the Mac's in there too, so I'm glad that thing was out of there as well, because that would have taken a massive brunt. My bale wrapper sitting here in the snowbank, our bale and roller, rebaler, all this equipment. my bale grabber, my spreader or screener. I had to take that apart. My Dan user intimidator, hay wagon behind that, LS tractor, they're out. And then when we get over here, my Ford 7710 made it amazingly. I was afraid that was going to get crushed, but we got through that. And the Kubota, it got pulled out of here, and you can see the damage smashed down on the cab top. I would have to get up there with a ladder, but that corner got smashed and broke off. But really, the most of the damage that where it hit was on this cab corner on top. You can see it's all smashed up top. So that's my big damage, and unfortunately I'm probably going to have to keep this inside because if rain goes in, it's going to go in the cab. So this machine's got to stay inside somewhere. So that's going to be another priority issue until I can get that fixed. So other than that though, I think I got out. Other than that, I think I got out pretty good, and I can't complain. So that's where we're at, and we're going to continue on today and see where it takes us. So at least you guys see where we're at. I have so much equipment sitting out here, it's ridiculous. And I'm running out of room. But I'm glad I only have a couple pieces left. You guys, I'm going to end the video here. It's been a long, grueling couple days. And we got all the equipment out except for that Oliver and the backhoe. I have to make access to hay. My plan today was to get in there and basically pull those two pieces of equipment out, but my buddy was tied up. And I spent most of my day trying to plow out pastures so the horses can go outside and get out of their stalls. They've been locked down for 5 days straight, and that's not something we do pretty commonly. So hopefully we can get them out tomorrow. Maybe, I'm not too sure, because I still need to get access to hay. And my buddy's going to come out tomorrow. We're going to definitely start to extract the backhoe and the Oliver and get me to some of that hay so I can start feeding these animals. So with that said, hey guys, thanks for watching, and I'll probably make a few more videos regarding this as time goes on. But I just wanted to give you guys a view of what's happening right now. So with that said, take care, and I'll see you guys soon.